que solo dura por más o menos 5 meses.
Ujú.
Y entonces voy a graduar porque es muy intenso, muy intenso. Respiro fotografía, como fotografía y duermo fotografía.
Ajá. Y
So I'm learning a whole lot.
muy bien. ¿Y cuántos meses has pasado ya en el programa?
Pues 2 meses. Sí,
Casi
solo
medio del
2.
programa, ¿verdad?
Sí, casi medio, casi medio. Voy a tomar a break, a hiatus.
Descanso.
I forget how to say that.
Descanso.
A descanso, thank you. I'm going to have a descanso por 1 semana o 2 semanas, en 1 semana o 2 semanas.
Ah, muy bien. ¿Qué vas
Ujú.
a hacer durante tu descanso?
No sé, probablemente yo voy a visitar mi familia en el West Coast, la costa oeste.
Muy bien.
Ah, sí, porque no he visitado a esos miembros de mi familia hace muchos años.
Muy bien.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
¿Has
Who's
conocido a Becca?
No conozco, creo que no conozco a Becca. Hi Becca.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
My Spanish is not good yet, but it will be.
Okay. Cool. Where is your Spanish right now?
Mi español es muy poquito.
Muy poquito. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool.
I
Vale.
understand a lot more than I speak, so I knew everything basically that you were saying.
Oh, that's
but
good.
My responses are like.
There you go. The hardest part, though,
Hey,
really.
that's a great start.
Yeah, I understand a lot. I was telling Hannah I had a Puerto Rican roommate for 3 years, and I took 2 years of Spanish in college, but I never use it. So
Okay.
I understand
Gotcha.
a lot and don't speak any.
I gotcha. Well, you've come to the right place.
I figure if I'm gonna do it, a bunch of nerds is the place to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Hannah and me got you covered.
Yeah, he's like one of the most nicest people I've ever met. He's just so positive and wonderful. So don't
Aw.
worry, we will not say anything bad about your Spanish, and it's great that you're here to practice.
You're so sweet, Hannah.
Yeah, you are.
Well, thank you.
Had anybody else done this, I'd have been like, oh, maybe not, but you were doing it. I was like, all right, cool.
It's good to know that you can make people feel comfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
He's in my face.
So you guys are both from Florida. I met up with Danny when I was down in Clearwater.
Yeah. Oh, there's a dog.
I'm trying to find his face. I can't see him. Can you see him?
Hi, Bubba.
They're saying hi to you, Bubba. They say hi, Bubba.
Hi, Bubba.
Aww. He's adorable.
He's completely blind, pain in my ass, thinks
Hey,
he's a Pomeranian.
Oh, there's a person.
We're just meeting Becca's dog, Bubba.
Hey!
Where's Bubba? Where's Bubba? There's Bubba.
Here's
Say hi, Bubba. Say hello. Say hi. It's my
Aww.
Yep. Okay, there's Bubba.
Okay. Thank you. Now we know.
What
Hi,
the hell
Christine.
did I do?
Bienvenida. Welcome.
How come I'm sideways? What the hell did I do? Oh my god. Yeah, me. I'm sideways. What the heck happened? Oh, it just didn't ever rotate itself.
Oh, wait a minute. You're sideways.
There.
Cool.
You're
So
gonna
we're
make me
kind
sick.
of introducing ourselves. Why doesn't everybody just say hola and their name and where they're from and like kind of something about them?
Okay.
Who wants to start? Okay, Daniel, start.
Okay. Hello. Hola. Mi nombre es Daniel or Danny. You can call me Danny. Everyone ends up calling me Danny. Estoy de Florida y hablo mucho español. Christine, how much Spanish do you speak?
Virtually none.
Okay, cool.
I could say like one sentence.
Okay, cool. Then
Hey,
I'll
that's good.
do Spanglish. So I'm from Florida, and me gusta aprender lenguas muchísimo. Like I love learning languages. The first language I ever tried learning was Japanese. That was in
Wow.
middle school. I don't know why I did that. I just sort of did. And and then I got into Spanish because in Florida it's easy to learn Spanish. Yep.
Okay.
And you know, Danny.
Good job. Yay.
Yay.
Excuse me. Hola. Me llamo Becca. Estoy de Florida. Me hablo español poquito y me gusta yoga y Bubba.
Bubba?
Bubba the dog.
Bubba the dog.
Mi abuelo se llama Bubba.
Aww.
Ah!
His grandpa.
Yeah.
Christina, I just said my name's Becca and I live in Florida and I don't speak a whole lot of Spanish and I love yoga and my dog.
Bubba.
And my dog's name is Bubba, so I said I love my Bubba.
Yeah.
And Christine, your turn.
I am Christine, and I cannot say any of that in Spanish.
That's okay.
Hey.
Hi. My son just woke up here.
Aw.
He's 3.
Hi.
And he's also naked, just so none of you are shocked. If you
Oh, that's darling. Hold on one second, guys. Abby! Come feed Bubba, please.
So I took 3 years of German in high school, and I
Nice.
still remember. I remember words, but I don't remember like sentence forms or anything like that. And I live in Colorado, and there are a lot of Spanish-speaking people here, so I've been trying to learn Spanish for a couple years, but I've never really committed to it successfully. So for about the last 3 weeks, I've been doing okay, but.
What are you doing to learn?
I'm doing an online Spanish call with a bunch of people. Feed the dog and stop giving me shit.
Oh.
I love you. Sorry, y'all. I'm talking to my daughter.
I've been using Duolingo,
Okay.
and then I started using this past week
Shut up.
an audiobook. I think it's Pinsler
Are you like looking
audiobook.
Yeah.
So, which I actually have found to be pretty helpful.
Oh my god.
Oh, there they are.
Audiobook, is it like a book that's read in Spanish, or is it like a teaching book?
No, it's like a teaching
Towards it.
like a teaching course.
Abby,
Okay.
go. Nobody needs to see your face hole. Go.
Tom is trying to climb on top of it.
Yeah. And you guys sort of know me. I mean, I've met Danny in real life. I haven't met Becca, but I'm Hannah. I live in Maryland. Soy Hannah. Vivo en Maryland. Y me encanta español. Y voy a mudarme a Colorado en octubre. So I said that I'm Hannah. I live in Maryland. I love Spanish, and I'm moving to Colorado in October.
What part of Colorado?
Yeah.
We are moving to Fort Collins.
Cool.
Yeah. Where do you live?
I live in Lakewood.
Okay. Where is that?
Do you know where Denver and Golden are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lakewood is right between the two.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, cool. What a great spot.
Yeah, it's pretty perfect.
Close to perfectly close to the mountains and perfectly close to downtown Denver.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love Denver. Or Yo amo Denver.
Yeah, I have never been to Colorado, so it'll be an adventure. But I will for sure coordinate lots of nerd meetups out there, so you will be invited.
I've never been to Colorado at all. I really want to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bring sunscreen and lotion. It is very dry and very sunny.
Cool.
Well, I live in South Florida. I think I've got sunny covered.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
sunny and humid for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, you would, Becker, you'd love Denver. You would
Yeah.
just love it. I just think anyone from Florida would love Denver because it's the opposite,
Well,
basically.
then I would love it because I hate Florida.
There you go. Exactly.
I mean, having been to Tampa, Hannah understands. It's
Yeah,
horrendous.
Florida was beautiful and I loved it, but I don't think I would want to live there. It's just too humid for me. But I loved going there in March and being able to go to the beach and seeing all the vegetation and all the palm trees and the flowers. It was really great.
Visiting Florida in March is amazing. Living here ever is not.
Yeah, after a couple of days, yeah, I think I'm ready to go home from Florida now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you
good for
right now.
packing, though.
Right now, you live in D.C., right? Or
In
close?
Maryland. Yeah, about 2 hours south of D.C.
Oh yeah, okay. See, I would adore living there.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a pretty good area. I've grown up here my whole life, lived here my whole life, so I'm ready for a change. But yeah, I like it. It's very rural where I live, so we're real close to the water. Have a lot of farms. We have like an Amish and Mennonite community.
Nice.
Good
My-
food.
My
Yeah.
soon-to-be ex-husband is from the D.C. area, and his best friend lives in a place called La Plata.
Oh yeah, that's like 30 minutes north of me.
Yeah, and some of his family lives in, oh my God, what's it called? Starts with a W.
Uh,
I want to say Wellborn, but I know
Waldorf?
that's not.
Waldorf?
Waldorf.
It's a small world. It's a really small world.
Yeah, his best friend's wife is from there, and his best friend, he went to school there and stuff, so he knows a bunch of people from there.
Movies. When I want to go to the movies, usually I go to Waldorf.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, I know where you live, kind of.
Yep. It's a small world. So let's see. Well, what do you guys want to do for our session today? Like, I mean, we could say some phrases or like ask each other some questions, or I mean, this is just kind of free form, so whatever everybody wants to do, and we'll do that.
I'd love to know everyone's purpose for learning Spanish.
That's a great question.
1 second, y'all. What, Abby?
Okay. Well, how about you go first, Danny, and then we'll go around.
Alrighty. Well, right now I'm living in Montana, and I'm studying photography. I'm going to a trade school to be a professional photographer because that's what I want to do with my career. And I already speak Spanish pretty well from a lifetime of being around it and liking languages. And it'll just be really useful for my career since I was born on the American continent and whatnot. It's going to be so convenient to be able to like just travel to South America and be able to speak with people, and it just opens me up to a whole nother continent where I can do business basically.
Yeah, especially if you're working virtually, then I guess probably you can't do that with photography. Like you'll have a
Not too
website,
much.
right?
Yeah.
But that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Muy bien. Who wants to go next?
I will. Okay, Christine, go ahead.
I don't really have a good reason for wanting to learn Spanish. I guess I never felt like I had a good enough mastery of German to actually be able to go to Germany and communicate with people. And as much as I love learning German, it just, I don't have as much of a practical use for it here. And I guess I want to learn a language for any language, just for the challenge factor involved. But I figure with Spanish, I know people who speak Spanish. And so I can go to them and talk to them, and that will give me much more feedback on, how I'm doing learning the language. So.
Nice. And that's such a priceless resource, knowing people who speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because books and real life Spanish are totally different.
Oh yeah.
Like a different language.
It really is.
I don't understand why that is. Why do they? I mean, I know that obviously, some of it's colloquial and it's just going to change, but why is it so different? Like,
I
it
don't
shouldn't
know.
be that different.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just how it is. I mean, they want to teach you proper, like if someone's learning English, they're going to teach them proper English. Like if they teach someone the sentence, I am going to go to the store, they'll teach them to say, I am going to go to the store. When in real life, if I'm going to tell you that, I'm going to say, I'm going to go to the store. And I literally just said a completely different sound. I'm gonna go to the store. It
Yeah, I guess
sounds
that's
totally
true.
different.
Yeah, and you can't really. How are you going to teach I'm gonna?
Right, I'm gonna, what is that?
So
It's
that's
like, I like to call it the mumble factor.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I get it. That makes
Try
sense.
looking that up in a dictionary.
Right,
I'm gonna.
right. They listen to it learning English and they're like, what's going on?
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Hmm.
All right, well, I'll go, I guess. My reason for learning Spanish is I live in Florida, and being bilingual like quadruples your job choices here, and I'm trying to find a job. Um, and if I can do that, and then if I move anywhere, because I'm not trying to stay in Florida, but if I have family in Texas, I like the idea of living on the West Coast. I'm thinking, okay, well, any of those places I'm good at, Spanish would be a good idea. So, and I have a basic grasp of the language that learning it isn't going to be that difficult. I just need to do it.
Nice.
And so I wanted, that's kind of my reason. And then, you know, if I can learn Spanish, then maybe I can learn Arabic, maybe I can learn German, maybe I can learn a million other things. It'll kind of give me a confidence of branching out and learning other languages because I love them. I just am chicken.
It's intimidating.
Cool.
It can be scary for sure.
I can say 5 Minuten. Good in German. Yeah, I can say 15 minutes.
Wow.
No,
funny.
my soon-to-be ex-husband took German, and so he knows quite a bit, or not really quite a bit, but quite a bit more than I do. So he's always saying words or phrases or little things, so I've picked it up over the decade.
Nice.
So I know a little bit of
5
German,
Minuten.
but I'm not all that interested in learning it any more than that. But maybe later. Maybe I'll have a reason at some point.
Cool. Cool. Well, yeah, that'd be super useful, especially if you're thinking about staying in Florida or moving to Texas or moving to the West Coast. I mean, Spanish is all over there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I figured the places I want to go, Spanish is going to be the language I need to know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah. And for me, I'll tell you guys in Spanish and then I'll go and explain it in English just in case. So, cuando empecé a estudiar español, tenía 12 años y empecé a estudiar español porque a mí parecía el idioma más útil porque, como ustedes dijeron, en México y en Sudamérica y también en España se habla español y para mí era el idioma más práctico. Pero cuando empecé a estudiarlo, me enamoré. Like, I fell in love with the language. So what I said was that I started studying it too because I thought it was going to be the most useful language because Mexico, America is right there, and I thought I have to study some language, so might as well be something useful. And then when I started studying it, when I was 12 years old, I fell in love with the language. I was just like, this is the most beautiful thing. And so I just kept studying it. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just keep taking Spanish. And I just figured to myself, at some point, it's going to get too hard, and I'm just going to be like, nah, I'm not interested in this anymore. But I kept taking it all through high school, and like, it never got too hard. Kept doing well, kept loving it. Took it all through college, and was like, well, I guess I might as well major in this. Like, I mean, I love it. I'm doing well. It's like, okay. So I did that, and then I studied abroad in Spain, and that was just amazing. I loved, like, ever since I started studying Spanish when I was 12, I was like, I really want to go to where it originates from and do, like, the proper Spanish from, like, the central area of Spain. And it was just so cool to be able to use it in real life. Like, my classes were in Spanish, and to be able to go to the store and ask for things in Spanish, and, like, I think one of the highest compliments someone can pay you is when they mistake you for a native. So,
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, that doesn't happen that often, but there were a couple times that like I was walking and someone stopped me and like, hey, can you give me directions to such and such place, you know? And or people would ask you like, oh, are you in line or whatever, and it's just really flattering when someone assumes that you know the language rather than like, oh, you look like you speak English, let me try to speak English to you.
Oh
So
yeah, that's
anyway, it
awesome.
was just cool like doing it in Spain and yeah, using it in real life and like because you have no choice, you know, when you're in another country where Spanish is the language, like you go to the store and like everything is in Spanish. Like you want to find where the flower is, like you have to ask someone in Spanish, where is the flower? So
Yeah.
yeah, so that was really cool. And Danny, actually, you guys want to know a really funny story? Danny and I went to
Yeah.
camp last year, and it just so happened on the last day of camp, so we had like met each other throughout camp and spent a little bit of time hanging out. But on the last morning of camp, it was a Sunday morning, and everyone was having breakfast before they headed home. And we just so happened to be in the breakfast line at the same time, and we were talking about the party the night before, which was Rubik's Cube night. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so hungover." I was like, I woke up and I was still drunk. I was like, "This hasn't happened since I was in Spain." And then he's like, "You were in Spain?" He's like, "Where were you?" And I was like, "Oh, I was in Salamanca." And he's like, "What? I was in Salamanca too." And then we
Yeah.
started talking like we think we went to the same like churro vendor, and then we like knew some of the same places, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is too funny."
It's awesome.
Yeah, we even
Yeah.
ate some of the same ice cream.
Yeah, there's this one place in like the downtown, like the square, like the center area of Salamanca, and it's like a little like gelato ice cream type like cart out there, and so apparently yeah, we had both eaten there. It was just super cool, and like it's just such a small world, you know, like
That's
randomly
awesome.
one person out of 150 people happens to be in line at the same time and happens to have been in the same exact place in another country that I've been.
Yeah, like what the heck? Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Funny. It makes me think that it's not random that we met because like we make these choices in our lives and we're making these parallel choices and here we are still parallel.
Yep.
Right, right. Yeah, that's
Yep.
true.
Yeah.
Trippy.
One way I think about it.
That's
But anyway,
cool.
so yeah, so I haven't met you, Rebecca and Christine yet in real life, but we will meet at camp.
Oh, so
Yeah.
both Becca and Christine will be at Camp and Fitness?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I was there last year.
Okay, cool.
Did we meet last year, Christine?
You know, there were so many people because I'm not used to being around that many people. And yeah, we probably did, but I just
Probably
don't
at some point. Yeah.
We probably did then, yeah.
I was
I'm a
in
camp
Canada
noob.
on the costume night.
Cool.
Nice.
I'm a
Well,
camp noob. I don't know anything about anything, and I've only met 2 people, period, from Nerd Fitness ever. One of which she now lives in Oregon, and she's not coming to camp, and she's only been a member of Nerd Fitness about 3 months, and she's
Okay.
only on the forums. And then Christine Feldman.
She's great. She was
Oh my
the
gosh.
first person I met up. Well, she was like the third person I met up with after camp, but she was the first person on my one of many road trips where I met up with the nerds this spring. And when I drove down to Florida, like on the second day I was in Florida, I was just like, "Hey, who wants to meet up?" And so she and I met up for lunch, and it was just really great to see her. That's one of the great things about camp. It's like I feel like you have friends of all different age levels, of all different places in the fitness spectrum, and all different places of origin and interests and jobs and whatever. It's just really great.
When I got to meet her, it was so great because, they live north of Orlando, which is a good 2.5, 3 hours away from me, and I don't drive. So I was like, okay, whatever, who knows if I'm ever going to get to meet her. This is never going to take forever. But since Jim goes all over Florida, he had to do something in Oldsmar, which is right outside of Tampa, which is an hour north of me even. So he drove all the way from Orlando down here, dropped her off, rented a car, drove back up to Oldsmar, then drove back down here to get her, just so she could hang out with me
That's so
for the day.
You're
And
so
I was like, oh my god, what the heck? That is crazy awesome.
What a nice person.
Yeah, like they're both amazing.
They're both really sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. Well, you're going to love camp.
I have no doubt. I know everybody's like, oh, it's a life-changing experience. I'm very certain it's going to be.
Yeah, I didn't even know it at the time. Like, I thought to myself, like, I'm just going to go in this camp and just see what happens. And I came back and I was like, yeah, it was great. You know, like, I had a good time. I made a bunch of friends. It was great. But, like, the changes have had such a huge ripple effect. Like, I came back and I was thinking to myself, yeah, you know, everything's great. It's fun. But ever since then, I mean, seriously, it's just, like, magnified. It's just, like, it started out like this, and now it's, like, my whole life is affected significantly.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. Yeah, I don't even know like what is gonna happen. Like I'm just kind of like I'm gonna show up and I'm completely 100% open to whatever. Like I don't have any expectations or preconceived ideas. Nothing. I just know it's gonna be a bunch of cool people.
Yep.
That's perfect. That was my mindset going into it, and that's still my mindset going into it. But that's the perfect mindset to have because that just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know, like, I mean, I know who's teaching classes, but I don't even know what they're teaching, really. Like, so I'm just like,
I did my first yoga class there. I had never ever done yoga before, and I was like, heck, why not? Just because of why not. And then I went to it, and I don't know. I was just surrounded by people who were all of a sudden friends, and it was a lot of fun, even though it kind of hurt. In a good way. It wasn't easy. I've never done yoga, but I didn't expect it to be so difficult.
Yeah, people think yoga is simple, and it's not. I love yoga. That's the one thing I do know I want to do. I want to take all of the yoga classes.
Good. You're going to love the yoga teacher.
Yeah.
I've heard amazing things about her.
Yeah, she's just a little angel.
I actually work for her now.
Really?
A couple hours a week for the last couple of months, which has just been awesome. Like, she's just a really positive person, and besides yoga, she also does personal coaching, and she does, like, women's empowerment and self-esteem and body image and things like that. So that's just been super fun working for her, and I met her at camp, and I went to all of her sessions. That was, like, the only thing that I went to everything for. I was like, yoga and meditation, yeah! So I went to all of her sessions, and then after camp, she did like an online program for a couple of women, like along the lines of women's empowerment and things like that. And it was, I think it was like an 8 or 10-week program, and that kind of helped all my personal growth and changes from camp. And then from then, we just kind of kept in touch, and so it's been really cool helping her out. And I'm like, I can't wait for camp. She's just so positive and wonderful, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I cannot wait. I just want to tell. I'm just talking about it now. I'm getting so excited. I want to like tell all of my friends about it. Who I haven't yet told. Where I don't know, or who I haven't brought up in conversation talking about it. They need to know.
I tell everybody, and they look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
They're like, "What the hell are you talking about? You freaking weirdo."
Because if you're not in the community, it kind of seems weird. But if you're in the community, like, to be like, yeah, I'm just going to meet up with these people who I've never met in real life, and like, oh, they're coming to my area, and like, I'm going to hang out with them, or like, I'm going to stay at their house. Like, it's not weird if you're you know, one of the.
If you're part of it.
Yeah.
At all. Like, I would totally, anybody that's a nerd, I'd be like, okay, yeah, you can come stay at my house. That's cool. Like, I wouldn't care at all.
Right?
But other people, no way in hell, you
know? Yeah, exactly. And you know, like now in life, because of this, I'm thinking when I get a house, I need a pull-out couch and maybe a guest room also, because people are going to be coming by.
Yes.
Even just since camp, I can't even count how many people have stayed with me. It hasn't been like a ton, but it's been somewhere between 5 to 10. Like, nerd fitness people have stayed with me, so it's been awesome.
Oh yeah, I feel bad because I have Bubba, and Bubba is not a nice dog. Bubba is y'all saw him. He looks like he's really sweet, but he will eat you. He bit my sister to the point where she had a bruise for a week.
Oh.
So he is not nice. So I can't have people in my house, and it makes me very sad because I would love to have nerds in my house. But I can't because of Bubba. But it's because he's blind and he was a rescue, and you know he has all his stuff. So there's nothing I can do about it. But.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you to be taking care of him.
It was funny, the story of how I got him. Do you guys mind if I share? I mean, I don't.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, well, anyway, there's a rescue. I was looking, my friend, who I know in real life here in town, she got a puppy, a little black lab puppy. And I saw it, and I was like, oh, my God, where did you get that dog? I want that dog. And she's like, oh, I got it from, Judy's Rescue up in Orlando. And I was like, oh, cool, okay. She's like, they have a website. So I went on the website, and I'm just looking at all the different dogs. And I saw Bubba, and his full name is Bubba Gump. Which, how cute, right? So his little picture said Bubba Gump, the blind lab blend. And I was like, okay. I was wearing a Bubba Gump Shrimp Company shirt. I'm legally blind myself, so I know what low vision feels like, and it sucks, and I know how to kind of deal with it. So I was like, this dog is the cutest dog I've ever seen. Oh, my God, I want this dog. And it's fate. God has intervened, and I'm going to get this dog. So we drove all the way up to Orlando, and we had him in the room, and he just, like, rolled over instantly and let me rub his belly for, like, an hour. And then I was like, okay, I'm taking this dog home. That's it. He's home. And that was about a little over a year ago. And he's a total pain in the ass. He tries to kill everybody. He thinks that everybody is mean and horrible. He bit my sister. He's bit several people, so we don't have anybody in our house anymore. And he attacked the neighbor's dog the one time he got out. So he's not a nice dog at all. But to the four of us that live here, he thinks he's a Pomeranian lapdog. Like, he wants to sleep in the bed with me. He literally can't be more than 5 feet away from me at any given moment in life. And he's wonderful to us.
Aww.
But he's not nice to anybody else. But he's so cute. And he's got a lot of problems, and that's just how it is with him.
Can I share
That's
something?
sweet.
Okay, Abby, you can share something.
Just for like 5 seconds.
Do y'all care if Abby shares something?
Sure.
Hello, Abby.
Say hi.
Oh, hi.
Oh, here. You can hear.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I can't hear it.
Yeah, you can't hear anybody.
Hello, Abby.
Hi.
Okay,
Okay.
hurry up
Alright,
and share
so,
and shut up again.
So I was just walking around in the living room, like literally just walking in circles to see if he'd follow me around, and he had his nose like touching my butt all the way around the living room.
Yeah, he's that bad about it. It's
like,
crazy.
Nobody was there, and he's like, oh my God, he's clingy.
Yeah, he's clingy. All right, anyway, now y'all know more than you ever wanted to know about my dog.
Cute.
That's great.
And dog in Spanish is
Perro.
perro. Okay. I knew gato was cat, but I was like, what's dog? I
Right.
forget.
Mm-hmm.
There,
It
now
is
we
perro.
actually, segued into some Spanish. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Speaking of Spanish. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask, or like anything that's kind of on their mind, like how do you say this, or what's up with it?
Oh, that's a good question.
How do you roll your R's? I cannot do it.
I think it's something that comes with time sometimes, at least for me. Like when I first started learning Spanish, it was not happening. But as I continued learning, I was able to get it just by pronouncing words with double R's in them in a lot of sentences. For example, if I can do it. Hay una estación de ferrocarril. Okay, so it didn't work right now, but most of the time it works for me. It's just something that sometimes comes with time. You have anything, Danny?
And yeah, because I struggled with that so much, and it made me so mad because I was great with languages, but I could never do the rolling R. It sort of seemed like magic to me. And then, I just kept trying and trying, and just learning Spanish anyways, and doing the best I could, and going just whatever. If I can't roll my R's, I can't roll my R's. I'll still keep trying. And eventually, this one time happened where I accidentally rolled an R, but I wasn't speaking Spanish. I was speaking English. And I said, I don't know, I said, I don't know. That was the phrase I said. But I said it real quickly and kind of mumbly. And I rolled my R, so I said, I don't know. That's what I said. And I was like, I just rolled an R. and then I was like, okay. So, and then I just kept saying, I don't know. And then trying to say Spanish words with a rolled R in them, right after that, to try to transfer it over to Spanish where it belongs.
What a good idea.
And it was still hard, but after that I started getting the hang of it. and just, I guess, exercising that whole
Jason, I'm
thing.
doing a
So I
Spanish
think
call
with
now.
practice and just by consistently
I'm in the
trying,
middle
you'll get it. Because
having
it
a
took
conversation
me
with a bunch of
3
other people.
years.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah,
And
it
it
took
came
me
to me in the
a
weirdest
while,
way.
probably several years. And even still, as you notice, I can't. It's hard for me to do it on command. If I'm speaking Spanish, sometimes it usually comes out. But if if someone's like, say, roll your R's, like, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
That's funny. I've never, ever, ever had a problem with it. Done it from day one.
Nice.
Well, let's hear it. Give us an example.
Caro. I don't know any other words with R's.
Carro, perro.
Perro.
Pero.
Cool.
Yep, there
And
you go.
even if you can't get it, just make the R sound and you'll be understood. Like,
Yeah.
that's the good thing. I mean, I was telling Becca before you guys got here that it's always kind of nerve-wracking. I mean, even for me to speak Spanish to a native speaker, because you're always like, oh, what if I mess up? Or like, what if I sound stupid? But just think about how you feel when someone who English isn't their native language speaks to you in English. I mean, even if they're broken English or they're not,
Seriously, you're not going to go say hi?
or they're not really fluent in it.
All right, guys, I have to go say.
Bye, Becca.
Bye.
Okay. I guess we'll see. I'm assuming she's leaving, but I guess we'll see if she comes back.
Okay.
Okay, but anyway, I was just saying that I always appreciate it when someone makes an effort to speak in English, even if they're not perfect or, but you can usually understand the gist of what they're saying. So I try to remember that when I feel nervous to speak Spanish to a native speaker. Like, for me to speak Spanish to an English speaker is like, oh, no big deal. But to a native speaker, it's still intimidating. But yeah, it's still good to practice. I mean, even if you I think a great way to start practicing is if you're at the level where you can order something in Spanish at a Spanish-speaking restaurant, Mexican restaurant or whatever, if they have native speakers there. And that's a great way to practice because they usually don't expect you to speak 100% Spanish. So even if you only say like 1 or 2 words, like if you say agua, por favor, if they ask what you want to drink, but then you place your order in English, like whatever you can do to practice is still better than not practicing at all.
Right.
For sure. And the most useful phrase will be como se dice. Como se dice means how is it said, or how do you say blah. And so just like, como se dice, I want a taco. Literally, say that to your Spanish waiter, and then they'll tell you, and boom, you'll know how to say I want a taco. Yep. It's like the phrase it's like the key to the rest of the language.
That's a really good tip, Danny. That's a great tip.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, my son is 3 and he can roll his R's.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't even speak English.
But it's easier for kids with other languages and like learning new things.
That's great. That's awesome.
That's really cute. You should get a video of him doing that. I bet it's adorable.
Yeah, he's been able to do it since he was a year old.
Wow. Like after he says his first word and then he rolls his R.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like he was in a Montessori school and one of his teachers spoke Spanish, and that's where he must have picked it up from. But yeah, so he can roll his R's and I cannot.
That's all right.
That's funny. Okay. You're already raising him to be bilingual a little.
Yeah. Well, I listen to my Spanish lessons in the car when I'm driving him to and from his school, and so it's 45 minutes one way. So he gets whatever he's doing plus my lessons. So
nice.
That's
awesome.
You've Spanish now for a little while, so why don't you lead the conversation for like a minute or so and just tell us whatever you feel comfortable saying.
The only sentence I remember how to say, let's see. Hablo un poco de español.
Muy bien.
Perfecto.
That's the only one I remember.
Well, your grammar is perfect.
Yes.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
That's usually my worst part.
Grammar is hard, and like I think one of the hardest things is that, like I said, book Spanish and real life Spanish are so different. And if you try to ask a native speaker in Spanish, like, well, why are you saying this way? Like, sometimes they might not know grammatically the explanation, and so they might just say, well, that's just how we say it.
Right.
So
especially if they grew up in America and know Spanish because of their family, they won't know anything about grammar. They won't know what a noun is. They'll just say it because they say it.
Or if you tell them,
It's
like, well,
true.
how do you conjugate this verb in this tense? They'll be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
So, anyway.
And they'll just know it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like us with English, you know, like, because I have a knowledge of Spanish grammar, I can answer some grammar questions in English, but, I mean, you know, I don't remember that stuff from whenever we learned it in middle school or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I know what you mean. Like I didn't learn any of it then. I mean, they taught it to me, but I didn't learn any of it. And I really like grammar, English grammar, as well as Spanish grammar, I guess. So I've like spent quite a bit of time just Wikipediaing and Googling English grammar topics and whatnot. Plus, I have a lot of English majors around me. My mom was an English major. My sister's an English major. One of my best friends an English major. So I'm around a lot of grammar.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh gosh, I definitely have questions in Spanish.
Okay.
But I'm trying to remember them because like I don't write them down. I should write them down. But sometimes there's something that happens within Spanish grammar, and I'm like, what's going on here? Oh, I thought of one.
Okay.
Sometimes adjectives are before nouns, and sometimes they're after nouns. I looked into it a little bit, and it wasn't quite clear to me.
Can you give me an example?
Like, él es un buen hombre.
Mm-hmm.
The adjective is before the noun. Do you know why?
That's a good example. Let me try and think of an example where the adjective would be after the noun, and maybe if I compare the two, then I can think of, then I can explain why. For me, that kind of thing, I just kind of noticed that the more you practice or the more you hear things, you can get a feel for where it goes. But that's not a really good answer if you're learning Spanish or if you have a question like that. So let me see. Or like, here's an example where it's after the noun. Un perro caliente, a hot dog. But the hot, caliente, goes after the dog.
Right.
That's a good question.
Yeah, because for me it's like mostly a matter of feeling. Like sometimes I feel like I'm supposed to put the adjective in front of the noun.
Yeah, that's what I do. It feels right.
Yeah, it feels right, exactly. And I'm like, I should look at some grammar.
I'm going to look it up real quick and just see if I can find anything that makes sense that I can explain.
Okay. Cool. Good thing this is in an internet window.
Yeah. Other cool thing is with the Google Hangouts on air, hopefully this will be recording itself. I don't know. This is my first time trying it. But hopefully we'll have like a YouTube video link after this, so if anybody wants to watch it again or whatever, they can. But let's see here. You can also do a screen share. So I've done just the regular Google Hangouts, not where it turns into a video. But if I want to show you guys something on the screen, like I can pull up a YouTube video and hit play, and you guys could see it instead of my face. So that's pretty
Really?
cool. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Let's see.
I like Google Hangouts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Google is really on. They've got their technology smarts on. Let's see. The rules
That's cool.
of word order. Okay, so it looks like it's quite common to place adjectives before nouns. Certain adjectives, especially descriptive adjectives, one that describes a quality of something, usually come before the noun, and sometimes they must. There are some adjectives that preferably come before the noun, and even a few whose meaning change depending on where they're placed. Here are some different types of adjectives and where you will find them. Colors. Colors come after the noun. For example, la flor roja, the red flower. La casa blanca, the White House. Adjectives indicating membership or classification. For nationality and affiliation comes after the noun. For example, la mujer ecuatoriana, the Ecuadorian woman. El sacerdote católico, the Catholic priest. So that comes after. Adjectives modified by an adverb or phrase. These come after the noun. Example, la taza llena de agua, the cup full of water. El libro muy interesante, the interesting book. Okay, so they've got several different examples here. I'm going to copy the link to this particular page and post it in there should be a little chat section over here on the right-hand side. So if anybody wants to like look it up and do more reading, and the explanation is in English.
Sweet. Hey, thanks. That's awesome. There's like a whole secret thing to adjectives and where they go.
Apparently, there's several subcategories, and that explains it. And so I guess that explains our sense. Like we kind of categorize it in one of those ways without realizing it, I guess.
Cool. Oh, that's cool.
I'm gonna read up on that too after this because that's a really good question.
Cool. Okay. Sweet. This is neat. Oh, Christine.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Do you know what a noun is?
Person, place, or thing.
Yeah. Do you know what an adjective is?
A descriptive word.
Sweet. An adverb?
Oh, an adverb. No, I don't remember what an adverb is.
Sweet. I'll tell you. It's good that you know what a noun is and an adjective is. That's actually very impressive.
That's probably better than like the most of the American population.
It is. It seriously is. But an adverb, it's a silly name for it, but it's when it's a word that describes an action. It's describing a verb. That's how I would explain it. Like, you can jump or you can jump angrily.
Huh. Okay.
Angrily is an adverb. And you can be a person or you can be an angry person. Angry is just an adjective there.
Right.
Person's a noun.
Okay.
The angry person angrily jumped. Adjective, noun, adverb, verb.
If you like grammar, you should think about teaching it. I think you would do great.
Oh,
Or
thanks.
grammar or whatever. I mean, seriously.
Oh, thank you. I would love to do that. I mean, I'm first a photographer and second a teacher, but I don't know. I would love to teach grammar. Anyways, yeah. Whenever I have someone who I'm teaching or tutoring or whatever, explaining anything language-wise to, literally, I just say, okay, what's a noun? What's an adjective? What's an adverb? What's a verb? And then usually they don't know most of them, and then I just have them make examples, and then they're like, oh, I'm like, okay, so we can start from there.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, Christine, what's a verb?
An action word.
Give me
Like
an
running.
example. Yeah.
Running.
Okay, great.
Climbing.
You pass.
Yay! Is it nap time now?
Seriously, I literally took a 4-hour nap before I called you guys. I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to do, but I was like, I am so exhausted. What I really need to do right now is take some rest. So I did.
Nice. That's awesome.
Fantastic. Yep.
Learning habits from Spain, taking your siesta.
Taking my siesta, my long siesta, siesta larga.
Yeah.
I had just literally just walked in from coming from the climbing gym before I got on my laptop.
Oh, cool.
We made it home just in time.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Are you going to do the climbing wall at camp?
Oh yeah, definitely.
How about you, Danny?
So much, yes, like so much. I love climbing so enthusiastic. Wait, Hannah's gone.
Oh no.
She disappeared. Hannah, her face isn't in the corner anymore.
Yeah, she's gone from mine too.
Oh no.
Maybe she hit the wrong button.
That could be. There's a couple times that her connection, there was just like once or twice that her audio connection muffled a bit for me.
Yeah.
So maybe her where she is, her connection wasn't as good as. Anyways, no, Hannah. I'm sure she can invite herself back in. Anyways, so what was I talking about? Was I saying something?
We were talking about climbing.
Oh, I'm definitely doing the climbing wall.
Yeah.
In fact, do I need to sign up for that now?
Yeah, because it costs extra money. I don't remember
Okay.
how much it costs, but if you go to wherever
I'm going
you
there
sign up
right
for the
now.
shuttles, wherever you sign up for the shuttles,
Okay.
you can sign up for the climbing wall.
Okay, I need to do all of that. Everything else. Okay, I'm gonna do
Oh,
that.
you just froze.
How about now? I'm swaying side to side. Do you see me?
Yes, now I see you.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Well, okay, I'm gonna do that. Thank you for reminding me. The
Yeah.
second this call ends, I'm gonna sign up for those two things because I love climbing so much.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things.
Nice.
We just
Like,
started climbing outside, so
oh wow.
we've only gone once so far, but it was a lot of fun. It was very different than climbing in the gym though.
I bet. I bet. I wouldn't know because I'm from Florida, and there's one climbing gym in all of the Tampa Bay metropolitan area, which includes St. Petersburg and Clearwater and a few other places that you've probably never heard of. But it's this giant metropolitan area, and there's one climbing gym. And I don't know why there's just one, because it's expensive, because people love it, because in Florida we don't have hills,
Yeah.
let alone mountains. And the highest elevation of Florida is a landfill.
Oh man.
And that's not a joke. I'm serious. Um, so we really like our rock climbing because we don't get any of it.
Yeah.
So
We
yeah.
have a lot of rock climbing gyms here in Colorado.
Well, of course, there's mountains everywhere. Everyone's into it probably. I'm jealous. I'd love to move to Denver. Anyways, okay. I guess it's 6 o'clock and I've got someone coming over a bit later that I'll have to see. I'll message Hannah to ask what happened.
Yeah.
Make sure she's okay.
Awesome.
Well,
All
good to
right
meet
then.
you, Christine.
You too.
All right,
Adios.
bye. Adios.